Hello everybody, welcome to the Saturday edition of This Day. It is May 23rd. I'm Michael Taylor. Good to be here with you on a Saturday. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. We've got a pretty good show for you, so let's get right to the action. On our show today, we're going to be welcoming Dr. Kenneth Wen from Pacific Cardiovascular Associates. Bree's going to be interviewing him, as well as later in the program, Thrive in the Village with Mark Rabinowitz, and Bree's going to be interviewing him. I'm just doing the intros and the goodbyes, and she's doing the interviews. That's how we make it work on a Saturday. She takes the heavier lifting, and I take a little nap between all that stuff. I'll come back at the end and do other things, talking about weather and movies and stuff like that. Right now, though, let's stay informed. We've got a good one for you. We're not going to be here Monday. It's Memorial Day. And so, on Monday, we got some great movies lined up. We have Elvis, Wild in the Country. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Then Tom Hanks with News of the World is going to be at noon. That's a real fun Western. It's kind of a twist on the traditional Western. And then California's Gold with Huell Hauser. That's going to be at 5 p.m. He's going to be visiting the USS Midway. That's a great one to do on Memorial Day. So remember, folks, know This Day on Monday. I know there's disappointment, but we got some great movies lined up and Huell Hauser, so you can't really complain, can you? There you go. Let's check our weather. We got some great temperatures for this weekend. Low 70s and 60s is kind of be in our forecast for a little while, which is always nice. I love the kind of nice, cool, spring-like temperatures. We're going to have some May gray on some of these mornings, right? Going to be burning off to mostly sunny skies. May gray might stick around a little longer on Monday and Tuesday, but for the rest of the weekend, really nice temperatures. Wonderful, a little bit cool as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. There you go. Let's check our sunrise, sunset. Beautiful shot here from Newport Beach. Thank you, Mark Weiss, for sending us this one. Mark, always reliable with some great beach pictures. He's down there all the time. Sunrise this morning was 5:45. Sunset tonight is going to be 7:50. If you have a picture you'd like to send us, we'd love to see it. Email them to us, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name, where you took the picture, and we'll use it in our sunrise sunset segment. Okay, when we take a break and when we come back, we're going to be talking with folks from PCA and Dr. Kenneth Wen. Stay with us.
For nearly 40 years, Pacific Cardiovascular Associates has been the leading cardiovascular clinic serving Laguna Hills and Laguna Woods. At PCA, our board-certified heart specialists provide compassionate care from initial consultations to routine follow-ups and more. We offer echocardiograms, stress tests, vascular studies, and pacemaker checks, all in one convenient location. With free parking and full wheelchair accessibility, PCA makes care easier than ever. Visit our website or give us a call to schedule your appointment today.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Joining me today from PCA, I welcome Dr. Kenneth Wen, Chief Medical Officer, here to talk about cardiovascular health and preventative medicine in older adults. Hello, Dr. Wen. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here. We got to chit-chat just a little bit before the show, and I asked you where you were from, and you've got a great story.
Yeah, I was born in East LA, of all places, but moved to Pittsburgh when I was a kid. I was a huge Steelers fan still.
Okay, that's important.
Moved to San Diego for high school, then went to Chicago, was there for college, med school. Finally went to New York, where I met my wife and did my training, finished all my training there, and finally came back to California. Actually joined PCA back in 2009.
So you've been with them ever since?
Yes.
That's fantastic. That's a long time.
Very loyal to PCA because they're a great organization.
Oh, that's great. So what led you to focus on preventative cardiology?
I'm what we call a non-invasive cardiologist, so a general cardiologist. So that's kind of our bread and butter. So we see basically everything across the cardiology spectrum, including preventive cardiology. So we get a lot of referrals from local doctors. Maybe the patients have risk factors for heart disease, and so we help manage that with the primary care physicians, and we also do diagnostic testing to find out if these people have heart disease.
Really? Wow. What are you finding the ratio is of adults now as compared to when you started practice?
I think nowadays, people, because of the internet and ChatGPT and all these things that are out there, people are much more informed when they come in to see us. They usually have a list of questions, And it's actually easier to kind of explain certain disease processes to the patients, just because they're more knowledgeable overall, compared to when I started, almost 20 years ago.
Is heart disease itself more or less prevalent now as it was back then?
I would say about the same, but people are living longer, I feel like. So there are more. There's never a shortage of patients that come in to see us, just because I think it's always been there. People are living longer, and and with age comes heart disease.
Is that right? Is that just inevitable? Or is that something, are there any steps that people can take to prevent the onset of it?
Absolutely, and it starts at a very young age. So I always tell patients, it's amazing. I see a pretty large cohort of patients that are 90 and over, and the one common thread, common theme for all these people is that they exercise. They keep themselves in pretty good shape, exercising, starting at a fairly young age, and they continue through their adult life. And also just being, mentally, I would say socially active as well. That's also very key.
Yes.
So I think, to answer your question, I think, preventive care starts at a very early age. And it's never too late to start either.
I was going to say, even if you've done nothing up until moving into this community, you have no excuse after living here.
You're never too old to start getting healthy. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So can you explain to me, because this is a little bit of an oxymoron to me, nuclear cardiology? Explain, what is that? Let's just get back to the basics.
Sure. Nuclear cardiology is a test that we use to see if you have what we call significant heart disease or coronary disease. So if you, in layman's terms, do I have a blockage in the arteries of my heart that's significant? Meaning, over 70% narrowed or blockage. So usually nuclear cardiology it's an older technology, but it's still useful in trying to determine whether or not you have what we call ischemia. So ischemia means you have arteries that are blocked up, and you want to know, is it significant or not significant? So is that the reason why people are having chest pain? So you may come to a cardiologist and say, hey, I've got chest pain. Cardiologist may order what's called a nuclear stress test for you, and it's a way for us to see what the blood flow is like inside the arteries. And if it's a normal scan, usually that means you have good blood flow supplying the heart muscle. It doesn't tell you if you've got 20% block or 50% block, but it does tell you yes or no. Do I have something bad hiding in my heart, or is it okay?
Interesting.
So we use that. Sometimes we have other modalities now that can actually give you the sort of like the percentage block and how much calcium buildup is in your arteries. Whereas nuclear doesn't do that, but it does help, just sort of what we call risk stratify patients. So are you at high risk for having, for something bad happening to you in the next, few months, or are you okay?
Dr. Wen, can you clarify something for me? When you use the term heart disease, is that sort of a broad brush for a lot of different things, or does that specifically mean you have clogged arteries?
I think for patients coming in, it's probably a broad spectrum. For us, there's so many different categories. So to be specific, I think clogged arteries, it's often referred to as coronary artery disease. But for a patient coming in, they may just think, oh, heart disease. But we also see people with arrhythmias, people with heart failure.
So there's many different
there are
things
totally
that
many
fall
different
under
things.
that same name.
Exactly, yeah. Often I use this analogy. Your heart is like a house. You've got plumbing, you've got electricity, and you've got walls and doors. So we take care of all the problems, So in other words, if you've got coronary artery disease, you've got clogged pipes, okay? If you've got problems with your valves, like valvular disease, that's kind of like the problem with your doors. You've got heart failure or arrhythmias, that's the problem with the electricity in your house. So it's kind of, I use that analogy quite a bit to kind of help them understand. There's different moving parts that can go.
I love that.
Yeah, things that
That's
can go
great.
wrong inside your heart.
That's great. That's a great way of breaking it down for us so we can really understand. Is there one that's more prevalent than the other?
I mean, coronary artery disease, clogged pipes, that's still the #1 killer in the U.S.
Same in the house.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have Drano, we don't have, plungers that can just like flush the stuff out. That's when my interventional colleagues come into play. Oftentimes when we do diagnose it, that they have significant coronary disease, our interventionalists will come in, put stents in. Sometimes patients need to go for bypass surgery, those sort of things.
And so what are the lifestyle contributions that lead to the coronary
Yeah,
disease?
probably the most important ones, things like diabetes, high cholesterol, and smoking, history of smoking, high stress, that's also a big one, hypertension, inflammation in general. So all those things contribute to development of coronary disease.
Is there anything the patient can do to reduce that as opposed to having a stent put in?
Yeah, so that's where like prevention comes in. So we are big proponents of like cholesterol lowering therapies. So traditionally there have been things like statins, for example, but there's a fair number of patients that have issues with statins, side effects from it. So now we have newer drugs out there. One class is called PCSK9 inhibitors. These are self-injectable type medications that drastically reduce bad cholesterol. So there's good and bad cholesterol.
So the body just flushes them out.
Yeah, bad cholesterol is the key. We want that number as low as possible, and that helps prevent buildup in your arteries, plaque formation, which leads to coronary disease, clogged arteries. So that's one big medication or tool that people can use. And it also, diet and exercise is super, super important, because all those things people can do to kind of reduce their cholesterol levels, for example. Blood pressure, medications are helpful. Keeping your weight down, exercising, getting good sleep, reducing
Movement
stress,
in general,
all those
right?
things.
Yeah, that stress really affects a lot of
Yes.
areas of the body. So as with most diseases, why is early diagnosis helpful?
Yeah, so a lot of times, early diagnosis, if you already know you have a disease process, you want to treat it right away. Because if you don't, you kind of let it go, it causes other problems down the road. So, and so a lot of preventative, what we see in the office is, we'll have patients that come in with, maybe their blood pressure is not quite, where it should be, their cholesterol is a bit high. So we in conjunction with the primary care physician, try to get these patients within their goal, what their goal blood pressure and their cholesterol levels are like,
Right.
for example.
And I think that there's a little bit of confusion around the different types of cholesterols, right? So you've got your good cholesterols and your bad cholesterols,
Yep.
and how does anybody really know the difference?
It's pretty simple when you get a blood test done. Usually the blood test will break down what's called HDL, which is the good cholesterol, LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. And then now we even have more specific breakdowns. There is even different types of LDL that are what I consider super bad cholesterol. So there's a lot more information out there now about trying to get the bad cholesterol down as low as possible,
Right.
and that really prevents future plaque buildup. So,
All right. So we just need to make sure that we move more,
yes, exercise super important, and
meditate more, reduce the stress,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
get out in nature.
Yeah.
And if all that fails, they can come see you.
Yes, yeah. We really don't want to see you guys.
We don't want to see you.
Yeah, but we're here if we need it. Yeah, you guys
All
need it.
right, Dr. Nguyen, been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate all your knowledge. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
People ask me about real estate here in the village all the time. I live here, and as a realtor, I know buying and selling in our community is different. There are specific rules and details that really matter, and having someone who truly knows how it works is important. If questions come up for you or someone you know, give me a call. I'm your Laguna Woods Insider. Please call me, Melissa Fort, your Laguna Woods Insider at 949-478-5888 or visit my website.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Joining me now is Mark Rabinowitz with Thrive, reminding us, I love this, thriving happens by staying present in every moment.
Thriving happens. We all need to thrive during the course of every single day.
It's a good reminder, Mark.
Yes.
So thank you for being on the show
Happy to be here.
and talking about this subject that is so easily overlooked because we're faced daily with little things that can nag us and annoy us and irritate us and frustrate us. And those are sometimes the things that get more of our attention.
Yes.
So
Because they build up inside of us all if you don't take care of them.
and keep it in check, right?
Yeah. And that's what Thrive is about. I mean, this is a committee of people. I've been doing this, I've lost track of how many years with basically the same folks. And the sole purpose is to help people overcome those little balloons that grow with bad seeds in each of us. You know, think about the positive, think about the good. Do something nice for somebody. Don't anticipate anything coming back, just do it.
Why do you think that it's instilled in human nature to, when those little challenging moments occur, to talk about them, spread the word about them, internalize them?
Yeah,
You know, that's just sort of wired in the human DNA, isn't it?
yeah. Self-preservation.
Maybe.
I mean, we all have bad days. It goes without saying. But even if you're having a bad day, if I'm taking a walk, like I'm walking down to the creek and I see somebody walking the other way and their face is pointed directly at the concrete, I'll say hi. Just maybe I might plant a seed in their ear that goes to their head that says, somebody paid attention to me. And that made me happy.
Right.
You know, it made both of us happy. You know.
Right.
It's the way I think.
And you have 3 steps to thriving. I love this. This is beautiful. 3 steps to thriving.
Yep.
So let's dissect those. You've got notice, note, and declare.
Yeah.
Let's start with notice, which you were sort of just describing.
What we were just talking about. If you see somebody who's walking with their head pointed, their eyes pointed straight down, say something to them. Have them look up. There's more to the world than just their toes in the concrete.
They're probably deep in thought at that point.
That could be, but you don't know, or none of us would know.
No.
But I'd rather take a chance on interrupting their train of thought than not do it at all. Yeah.
That's a great reminder. Very great reminder. Another great reminder is you have here note and gratitude.
Yes.
Don't you think gratitude is everything? Everything. It's up there next to love,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yep. When somebody says something to me that's a positive, someone does something for me that's a positive, someone just gives me a look with a smile, I like to respond with some form of gratitude. Thank you, thanks, like you just did, a smile back. That, to me, is answering exactly what the word gratitude is saying. You're expressing a thank you, if you will.
Well, and I think what it does, Mark, is it just raises the vibration, right?
Sure.
instead of being in sort of that low energy place, that's an instant raise. And sometimes people actually fight it. Sometimes they're like,
Some people do.
you know, it's just too much energy to go there. I'd rather stay down here where it's actually comfortable.
We all have our comfort zones, right?
We all have to talk ourselves out of it sometimes. Right?
Exactly. That's where I was going. Exactly. You're in a comfort spot that's not necessarily up here. It's down here. And somebody says something or does something for you or whatever the case, and your comfort level starts coming up. Isn't that a nice thing?
Well, I know a lot of people, you know, it's sort of a pandemic in and of itself is depression, right? So many people suffer from that. And it's because most of the time they don't have a positive outlook.
Right.
And they don't take the time to turn those situations around and look at what are the positives that have come out of it and what could you find to be grateful out of those situations.
You find the good and transcend from the bad to the good. And especially here in the village, because we are such a small, closed, closed, if you will, I guess, community,
Right.
where there are folks who don't necessarily come out of their houses much at all, except to go to the grocery store or on an errand, or maybe don't have a lot of friends who they can communicate with. It's, you know where I'm going with this.
I do. That's why I'm constantly pushing people, get out and go to the clubs.
Yeah.
Go socialize, go dance, go listen to music, go play sports, bingo,
Do
bocce.
something.
Yeah.
Get up off the couch
Yeah.
and go outside.
Because we all know the longer that you stay within, the harder it is to go without, right?
That's right.
Or to go out.
Yeah.
So, and it just has to do with the mental health, the physical health.
Yeah.
And if you sort of isolate yourself, then you kind of, your health
It's
follows.
of course it does. This controls everything south of it.
Yeah.
If you have a good thought, it radiates to the rest of you.
Right.
And with that radiation, might get to your hand and you might wave at somebody as you're walking by them and get them doing the same, doing the same thing.
Exactly. So what would you tell those folks who are maybe watching, kind of fall into that category?
Yeah.
Just happened. It wasn't necessarily anything that they sought out, I'm going to stay home today. No, it just sort of gradually happens where they withdraw from society. It's like they want to be out there, but now they don't have the energy to do it.
The energy, well, being a chocoholic, I would say go have a candy bar.
There you go.
Get some energy.
Get some endorphins going too.
Yeah, but all kidding aside, there are, I'm sure, people here in the village and everywhere who have that mentality. It's, I don't want to go out. And, well, sometimes you have to force yourself.
In the beginning.
Correct. There are days that I wake up and I'm just exhausted. I've been working at the theater till 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. I come home and I'm shot because that morning I was photographing for the newspaper. So it was, an 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock day, I'm getting too old for some of this. And I wake up in the morning and I think, all I want to do is put my feet up on the coffee table and watch TV and drink tea. And I don't want to do anything else. And then my logic kicks in and says, okay, big boy, go grab your camera and get dressed and go outside and take photographs of anything.
Yeah.
But go out
Go outside.
and do something. And that's the way I work.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think could help somebody if they're sort of stuck in that mindset is a gratitude journal. I think even just being grateful for, where they live or the car they have or the friends that they do have, and just start small.
Yes.
And then build. It does. It sort of becomes its own avalanche, because the more you're grateful for, the more things you are going to have to be grateful for.
If you're feeling bad about, again, everything I'm saying, folks, is what I do.
Right, right.
If I'm having a lousy day and I'm feeling bad about things, and I turn on the news and I see all that's going on out in the world, my life isn't so bad.
And turn off the TV.
And go outside and do something. Yeah, I mean, it all comes around together.
It does.
Yeah, but it's so important that
Mark,
people
thank you.
do.
You have such a great message. I appreciate you sharing that with us today.
I'm very happy to do it. This is what Thrive is all about.
All right, folks, go out there and find 100 things to be grateful for. Thank you for joining us today.
Happy to.
You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
For some places, care is a service. At Heritage Point, it's a commitment. Located in Mission Viejo, Heritage Point offers an environment where residents feel known, valued, and at ease. Our experienced staff build meaningful relationships that bring comfort and trust. With engaging activities designed for connection and creativity, every day brings something to look forward to. Our vibrant social dining experience is truly a welcoming environment. This is where community thrives. Visit our website or give us a call to schedule your visit today.
Welcome back, everybody. We got our Saturday movie, and it's an interesting one. It's got an interesting title, same kind of different as me, stars Renee Zellweger. It's brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. I've never seen this one before, but it sounds interesting. An international art dealer, Ron Hall, must befriend a dangerous homeless man in order to save his struggling marriage to his wife, a woman whose dreams will lead all three of them on a journey of their lives. Okay. Sounds kind of fun. Sounds kind of funky. Let's see about that one. That's going to be a Saturday movie. Going to be at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Enjoy that one. Let's take a check of our weather before we head out. And we got some beautiful temperatures for this weekend. We are going to be in the low 70s both days, about 72 degrees, maybe some morning clouds. Then we're going to be burning it off into mostly sunny skies for most of the day. A little stronger of the marine layer, a little bit more May gray on Monday and Tuesday, but nice cool temperatures all through into next week, so enjoy that. Okay, like I said, folks, know this day on Monday, we're going to have a movies lined up for you and a Huell Hauser, so we'll be back on Tuesday with Bree. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose was right?